Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we've got myself, Captain Coop. We've got our wonderful local town, Major McFarland.
Hello. Excuse me, sorry. Frog in my throat.
It's all right. So today we're going to do a couple little things. We're going to do Officer of the Month. I do want to say something on this. I'm having technical difficulties with the computer, and it's not wanting to load the file, so I don't have the image that we wanted to do, but we will still name the Officer of the Month, and congratulations and all that good stuff. And then a little after that, we're going to go over some pet peeves of security officers. So things that we run into in the field or stereotypes we deal with that just kind of get under your skin, or as local legend Peter Griffin.
What's he say?
Grinds my gears.
Oh, yeah. That's a Family Guy thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it would be funny.
That grinds my gears.
So
I don't watch Family Guy, but I know enough about it to know that's one of the segments.
You don't watch Family
Guy? Nah, I've never been a big fan.
Really?
Mm-hmm. More South Park guy, which
South Park.
The 27th, I think, is their new episode coming out. And they have a new video game coming out.
Do they really?
I'm a big South Park guy.
Dang, they got another
I just like
game.
that they're current events. So they kind of, well, for one, they make fun of everybody. So that's how they are
perfectly
immune. Yeah, they're immune to cancel culture because they literally...
They go after everyone.
Yeah.
There's nobody safe.
Nope. They don't hold any punches from anybody. But it's just the currentness, I think. Yeah. The
how quick they are to make fun of.
I guess. I'm trying to think of a
it
way to
doesn't take
describe
long.
it. Well, no, there's actually
Real
an
quick,
episode
Brian, thanks for joining us. Justin, glad to see you here. Cameron, welcome.
There's an episode on HBO that goes through how they make an episode, and it's like anywhere from 4 to 5 to 6
What's
days.
up, Naily?
It's the one where they make the human centipede.
Oh, no.
Which is like the human centipede spinoff. But just it's the relevance, I think, is what it is. So like if something happens that week in the world, like, any current event,
anything,
and then they kind of go,
they make a joke on
it. Yeah. And so it just, I don't know, it just seems more relevant, I guess.
Devin, thanks for joining us.
Not to be redundant.
No, I mean they've.
Oh yeah, I gotta go to the.
I was hoping he forgot. I almost made it without remembering.
My people.
If I would have been like another 2 minutes, he never would have remembered.
Nope, squirrel brain.
So starting it off, we'll do Officer of the Month. Officer of the Month it'd be last month, right?
Yes, it would have been for September.
September would be Officer Kearns. So, Officer Kearns, congratulations. Round of applause.
Good job, Officer Kearns. I will say she is just a joy to have at the office. She's
very upbeat.
Yes, she's always positive. She's efficient. She doesn't like. I don't know, this sounds horrible. She's not annoying. Like there's just certain people that, especially when I can be annoying. It's just like too, sure. I don't know. There's some people just have they kind of grind my gears. She's the opposite of that. She's just pleasant to be around, I guess the best way to put it. So, no, she's fantastic. She does a great job. You never hear anything negative about her.
No.
Nobody's like, hey, she's mean or whatever. It's always positive things. And I like to reward people for that.
I think the last time I remember somebody bringing up Officer Kearns, we were talking about just the kind of how everything is downstairs and how everything works. Me. And it was just... Well, and it was talking about how like the mentalities between people, like mine and yours, how we work together and how
we're maniacs,
right? Well, but there's the positive and the negative and everything like that, and for
positive
as much as the negative, yeah, actually,
no, I'm just kidding.
No, realist, pessimist, whatever you want to call it, but for is Officer Kearns has the amount of positivity to overwhelm more than one negativity. And so it's really refreshing to have that in the office and to have that on the team.
Someone say annoying officer. That's funny. Kalishnikasi.
Oh, jeez.
I said it. Hey, it's legal. It's legal. Yes, Brian. Brian got written up for.
I really wish I had seen that comment before you because I would have censored you.
His beard. Yeah, he likes to have the power. It's all back. Go ahead. Turn me off. I don't care. Let's see. How do you pronounce it?
I know.
Clip
I
it.
can't.
It is.
I am trying.
Yeah, I've said it 3 times.
I could just ban him.
You could ban me.
Not you.
Oh. Ban us both.
I could. I'm not going to.
We will die on this hill. But no. So one thing. This is back to Officer Kearns. And I've told her this. It's actually her office. So most of us, we're big brutes and aren't the most. I don't know.
Organized?
Yeah. It's just not like the space looks like a locker room sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not very, sometimes you need a touch that certain people have. and Kearns' office space. I feel like, well, I know this to be true because I've done it. If like I'm having just a bad day or just like angry or frustrated, I'll go stand by her desk. And this is weird when she's not there, but she has like plants and just like it's very like calming. I don't know, the lighting. She has like a nice soft lighting, and so
He's lost it.
yeah. Well, that's a given. But no, it's she's an awesome officer. She's great to have, and we're lucky to have her. So I wanted to give her, well, we all did.
Yeah.
Wanted to give her some kudos to show some support that that doesn't go unnoticed.
Absolutely.
So
Those-
it's the little things.
Yeah.
Did she save a cat out of a tree? She would if she needed to, but no. It's just, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep
it's
up the
not
good
just
work.
the lifesavers, or it's not just the
Right.
people that it's not the going so far above and beyond that gets the officer of the month. Sometimes it's the little things that matter. And to answer you, yes, the podcast would be a little less funny, so I'll
Sorry.
give you that.
Not you, him, why not? But I don't. I'm behind on these comments, but yes, you are right, Kalishnikasi, that it would be 73.6% less funny. Oops, did I say something? It's cold out here. Do you have a jacket, Cameron? Mr. Baker, get your jackets while you can. I know there's a new order coming in, so if we don't have your size, please be patient with April or whoever if you're going to a direct supervisor. Be patient with those that are needing it.
If you are still needing a jacket, please reach out to April and let her know. She'll get you set up with an appointment to come get one.
And I'm going to throw a little bit back on the officers here. If you wait till it's -20 to ask for a jacket, you might be a little bit behind on the waiting list. So just understand, be proactive. We tell you guys to do that all the time. Not to say we're not going to get you a jacket. Just understand the longer you wait, there's a good chance that you'll be waiting on deliveries for those jackets, especially if you're a common size and went from medium to XL. Those are pretty common sizes, so those go pretty quick. So, and if you're, a different size outside of that, or you have a kind of a special size, make sure you reach out, let us know so we can get those ordered for you. So we know we have guys and gals all shapes and sizes, so we want to make sure you guys are comfortable at your posts. Also, understand that if you're working a post that's indoors and you have not gotten a jacket yet, our priority are to the guys that are doing foot patrols outside or that are outside mostly. I know a lot of the retail locations have you positioned by the doors. So if you guys do not have a jacket and are waiting on one, we have authorized you guys to you can wear under, like thermals underneath. I know that Sam's Club and Costco have pretty cheap. I believe the brand is like 32 degrees or Cold Gear or something like that. They'll sell you it's like Long Johns. It works really well underneath the uniform. Please try to get like a gray, a navy, white, or a black. Neon yellow for hunting probably isn't the best. We try
neon
to
orange.
we try to comply with the preferred colors. I understand you guys got to do what you got to do. If you wear a jacket over the top and then take it off during your post, that's fine. If you got to wear a jacket to get to post, I'm cool with that.
So, Justin, to answer your thing right there, she is in the same place as she was before. However, email is the best way to get a hold of her for equipment stuff because we track that, and so it allows a little bit easier time of making sure that we get everything squared away. So if you're calling to get it, just email. That'll wind up working a whole lot better for you. Connor, thanks for joining us today. Good to see you in there. Who is this guy? That's a good question.
That's a good point. Oh boy. That's a good point. Everybody here is kind of doing 100 different things. We went from roughly 250 officers to pretty much 500 in about a year, which we're happy. We've talked about this multiple times on the podcast. From Major Roses's temp work that turns into full-time clients, which happens a lot because it's how good of a job they do. Yeah, it's a shameless plug to my peer there, Mr. Connor Roses. Our clientele is expanding, so we are getting more.
Expanding.
Yeah, we're getting more locations, more clients. So we're getting more officers. That doesn't always translate to more people here on the administration side to help facilitate. So we do what we can as quickly as we can to help you guys. So just be patient. And like he said, emails are always best because for one, you have record of it.
Yep.
And for two, it's something that everybody here I know for a fact checks on a daily basis. And so,
Oh, see, April's like the rest of us who are up here when we get an
she's
email.
running around like crazy.
That, but we don't put the email, we don't file the email away until we know we've done with that particular one. So if you send her an email and she hasn't gotten to you yet, she's got it on her list of before she puts it away. So that way she knows who's been handled and who's been taken care of and who hasn't. So emails are almost always going to be the best.
Oh, okay, Brian. We'll stay on task here with pet peeves. I don't really have too many as far as like from the officer perspective. I'm sure Coop has quite a few. Working next to him would be one of mine. I mean, even like in law enforcement and security, you get the normal, I didn't do anything when when you're in a public place, but it's not really a pet peeve. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. People come up and ask you, hey, what kind of, sidearm do you carry? It's just people are just curious and want to know things. So it doesn't.
I'll tell you what always gets me is it's actually the one you just said. You said it doesn't really bother you. If I'm going to talk to somebody or something like that, I'm there for a reason. I walk up, I'm like, hey man, my name's Josh. I got to talk to you. And they're like, well, I didn't do it. It's like that's a pet peeve of mine. That absolutely
it doesn't bother me. I'm just used to it.
So
or he did it or whatever. It was a really good one.
I'm used to it, but it's just one of those. It's like, come on, dude.
We were at a meeting. I don't think. Yeah, you weren't. It was me and like 4 or 5 of my guys and supervisors, and so everybody's all squared away, looking really good. And we go to this meeting, and it's at the client's building, and we all are in the lobby waiting. And this is just an office building, so they're not used to seeing this many uniformed individuals. Yeah. And this lady walks by, and she goes, you guys finally caught me. And it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. It was better than normal. Like, I didn't do it, She was like, damn it, you guys finally caught me.
I would say, if there's a refreshing one like that, I'm okay with it.
And she was, we didn't even know her, So it was, I was like, that's actually a pretty good lady. That I owe you that one.
I haven't, I think if I was standing there and it's something like that and someone walked up,
was
well, it's my time, I guess,
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. But,
it was her delivery too. She was an older lady, so, she's innocent looking, and she's like, you guys finally caught me.
See,
yes, we're here to serve a warrant.
I like that.
But no, pet peeves. I'm trying to think. I mean, some of them would be, the standards of where we're working, I guess. We're not obviously in the nicest parts of town, so sometimes pet peeves could be locations that you're working. But really, everybody here, nobody's forced to do this gig. Everybody kind of either feels like it's a calling for them. We're here to help people. So you just kind of know the crappy parts going into it. You're going to see things that some people shouldn't see.
See, here's one. I was on Justin. Thank you for putting that. I was actually hoping somebody would bring this up. Someone put in their First Amendment auditors. Here's the thing about that, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, honestly, and
as long as you're doing your job, let them do what they.
They're there to cause a scene. They're there to cause a commotion. Yep. And if you handle it correctly, as annoying as it could be, it dissipates extremely quickly.
Yeah, don't give that fire any oxygen.
Yeah, if they're asking you questions and it's questions you can answer the question. Get it done and get it over with. And if you don't want to, say, hey, look, man, I can't talk to you because my company has a no media policy. Yeah. If you'd like to talk to anybody, and then
And the funny, not to interrupt you, but the funny thing is, and to kind of piggyback your point, is they mistake us for law enforcement quite a bit because of our uniforms, and especially guys in the outer vest. It's pretty. The similarities are striking, and so they'll be talking to us like we're a government official, which we're not. We're private, we're in the private sector. So our rules and regulations of what we should do or can and can't do or should and shouldn't do when it comes to media are completely different.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to get into it, but there's times where they're on private property addressing us as law enforcement government officials, peace officers, and demanding that we give information that we don't technically have to give. And so the best policy that we have had since I've been here is just no comment, you know, and then reach out to a supervisor and explain the situation, and we'll get out there and assist you guys. But yeah, it's just kind of funny, their ignorance at times. But I also appreciate that they're holding people accountable for their actions. Yeah. Just be smart when you do it. So don't approach a security guard that isn't employed by the government and demand that they identify and give all this stuff. The best thing to do is just say, hey, my name is so and so, I'm getting in contact with my supervisor, we do not make comments. I have no comment for you. And
let me get you somebody who can. Let me get you.
And it's funny to watch those because we've had officers that follow that direction. And the guy just gets all angry with the phone. He's just like, hey, he's just trying to get our eyes out of us and, say, hey, have a good day. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do my job here. And so like you said, it really dissipates pretty quickly, and they move on to the next.
What gets with stuff
victim.
like that is when you play into it. Is when they start. If you play into it, it makes it a whole lot worse. If you follow the way you're supposed to and you do everything correctly, eventually they're just going to leave because you're not giving them the ammunition they want. And you see it all the time. You see it with those. I actually watch a couple of guys that do. They're not. I wouldn't call them First Amendment auditors, but they're guys that go over police body cam footage and stuff like that. And some of these guys are really knowledgeable, and some of them aren't.
It's no different than we do like a reaction video. The last thing we're going to do here is say that they should have done this differently or better because we're better. It's easy for someone to say that's sitting in an air-conditioned office watching a video.
Monday night quarterbacking is super easy.
In the in the situation where those situations happen so fast, your adrenaline's going. Decisions get made and actions are taken that sometimes you don't even know. One of the famous ones we talk about a lot, I'm sure I've said it on here before, those of you that haven't heard about it, there's an officer that is in a school where there's a school shooting. An officer has to engage with the subject and ends up clearing a malfunction during the engagement.
I remember
and
this.
He doesn't even know
Didn't even know he did it.
And so like his supervisor afterwards is reviewing footage and says, hey, that was a really good job of clearing that malfunction. He's like, what malfunction? I don't even know what you're talking about. And so he reverted to his training when he's in that incident where getting shot at and shooting at someone, it's not what most people think.
Yep.
And so when he's going through that incident, he didn't even realize that his gun malfunctioned. And because of his training, he was able to tap, rack, and roll and clear the ground and re-engage the subject. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And so they had to show video footage. And he was like, holy shit, I did, And so
I remember that.
That's hard for people to understand that, God forbid, nobody should have to go through that. But people that do understand that, it's really easy to sit there and say, oh, well, I just shot him in the kneecap. That's not how things work. It's not movies, guys. So those, I guess that would, let's segue. That would be one of my pet peeves is people critiquing law enforcement, security, and even military members on how they conduct business when, for one, they've never worn a uniform or never been in that situation, and it's their right to do so. So I 100% support their right to do so. Just make sure you educate yourself before you start trying to tell people how to do their jobs. Yeah. And it's not a crime to be ignorant. It's not a crime to be misinformed.
It's not a crime to have an opinion.
It's the beauty of this country and the freedoms we have. But that would be a pet peeve of mine is people saying like, well, I would have shot him in the keycap. That's not how things work, man. But you're free to think that and have a great day.
Yeah.
Move on.
It's your opinion, and you're allowed to have it, but you can keep it. Yes. But no, I mean, outside of that, when it comes to pet peeves, I saw one someone must put on there earlier.
Stephen Buckman, that's funny. I always wonder how that could go. I won't say the contract, but some of our officers are on public transportation, and sometimes they have
That's pretty good.
They're designated to one specific public transportation vehicle, and I can imagine people being on there that just the amount of time you're stuck with some. Yeah, just
hey,
buddy,
how's
it going? Yeah.
There's a whole
What's that do?
bunch of
What's
seat
that
over there.
do? What's that? And if it's a kid, it's one thing, but if it's a grown adult, I mean, even then.
I've had kids do it where they'll walk up. Hey, what is that? Oh, that's a baton. Well, what is that? That's my handcuffs. What is that? That's this. Can I touch it? No. And then I've had an adult. Hey, what is that? That's my OC. Can I hold it? Absolutely not.
Yes, Justin, you're exactly right. That's exactly why you train that way. The whole I'm going to think about doing it.
It's muscle memory.
Doesn't always apply. Yeah,
it's bringing that muscle memory into that training. It's 100%. That's
sometimes
100%
you just
correct.
have to do what you've been trained to do.
See.
Yeah. So there's pet peeves across the board. But again, like I said,
every day at the elementary, I'm posting. Absolutely, dude. You're gonna run across that with kids. It doesn't matter if it's at a school, public setting, whatever. Most kids will look at an officer, firefighter, security with interest, and they want to know. They want to ask questions. And there's nothing wrong with being, oh, that's this, that's this, that's this.
Yep.
And then you get to the, can I touch it? No, absolutely not.
No. Can I hold your gun? What caliber you carry? Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, I've had
but
that
again,
one more
those
time
aren't pet peeves. Those are just people. That's just engagements and interactions you're gonna have with people out in the field. And like I said, majority of it, not to say I knew better at the time, but I kind of had a good idea what I was getting into, and so I kind of expected it. So I guess if you prepare, I could sit here and tell you a pet peeve for every single post that we work on. Hey, you got to stand too much, or you got to spend too much time looking at cameras. But it's all perspective at that point, and I could think of it as like the world could be my situation could be a lot worse. And so, I mean, right now I think everybody's aware of what's going on in the world and the fact that people, don't know if they're going to be able to sleep in their homes safely at night halfway across the world. is a lot bigger problem than me complaining about how my back hurts from standing too long at post while I'm getting paid to do so.
Yeah.
And, and again, something I signed up for, So pet peeves, I guess, would be difficult for me because my perspective of it's a little different.
See, when it comes to me, it's like pet peeves mainly. Like
Other than having to work with Coop, that's really all I got.
That's a big one. That's a really big one for him. Like, realistically, for me, pet peeves aren't like I have the one. It's. Oh, I didn't do it. I have that one, but that's because I've heard it so much. It's kind of it's play. It's over for me. I don't enjoy it. It's not fun anymore. Most of mine is going to be like equipment. I only usually have pet peeves for like equipment. Like I have pet peeves for bad boots. If I want to go like something like that, and I buy a bad pair of boots, and I'm 6 hours in and my feet are killing me. Okay, I have a pet peeve. My pet peeve is I should have paid for better boots.
Yeah, number one rule in law enforcement security is comfortable footwear. Good chance you'll be standing for long periods of time.
Wish I'd have known that when I first got hired. And I know that now, but it's just, like I said, stuff like that, that's where mine come from.
I think that's a really good point. I was just thinking about it too. I think if you would have asked me pet peeves when I first started, I would have been like, sure, I could have wrapped off a list for you. But now,
I think it evolved.
Having dealt with as much as I have, and not to toot my own horn, but just kind of seeing it through the lens of different perspectives, of
well, that's the thing is
angles of it. There's
you have more than one perspective of it. Like I have one angle of perspective. I have security. You have law enforcement and security, and so that the different angles of perspective there kind of when you first start, you may have a version of pet peeves, but over time throughout those, for the way you said it, lenses, it evolves, and I think that's the same for everybody. It evolves for your experiences, and it evolves based on you and what you do. I don't think that there is a base level of pet peeves for this industry or that industry. I think it's perspective. It's per person.
You're exactly right. It has a lot to do with an experience too. The more you've done, the more you kind of realize that hey, that's really not as big a deal as most people make it seem. But that comes in every industry across the board. There's doctors that lose a patient, and I could see that being more upsetting than the fact that somebody didn't get their overtime, an hour of overtime included that they thought they should have had on their check or something along those lines. Just for example, that puts it into a different perspective. A good friend of mine, still a good friend of mine, is an ER doctor. I think I've brought him up before. And there were times where, I could tell something was weighing on him, and he lost a child. A child came in and something, obviously had happened, or an illness or whatever. And does he feel responsible? No, but at the same time,
you don't feel good.
Yeah. And so I'm like, my day sucks. And he tells me that, and I go, no, my day doesn't suck.
Yeah, no.
It really doesn't. So to kind of put it into perspective, geez, if there's a counter for how many times you use that friggin' word today, it kind of helps you understand what it is. And so kind of, I guess another one.
I kind of with you, I kind of adopted that over the years of doing this is the way I've looked at it is like, sure, I have my bad days, or,
Sure.
You're doing something and maybe something didn't go the way you wanted, but it could always be worse.
Yeah.
Someone out there is going to have it. And just like that, an ER doctor, an EMS person, a firefighter, an actual law enforcement officer, another security officer had a bigger issue than you did. My problem is relegated to me. And someone's probably going to have a worse issue. And so my little thing of my feet hurt, or I don't like the fact that I got to stand for 9 hours, or I got to go do this, and it's small potatoes.
Phenomenal for Justin. Gary, you make a really good point. I guess that would be probably the closest second I have to a pet peeve, is when you just get called names for literally the job you do.
Dude.
And it's a few bad actors that taint the whole tree.
I got so used to getting called names for some of the last jobs I did.
Oh yeah,
that
it doesn't bother
me anymore.
But
I don't even.
But it's still. I guess that would be it, because it's like, so one specific example I can remember. There was a drive-by downtown when I was on patrol, and we were kind of helping PD kind of keep the area clear. There was unfortunately a deceased family member, or there's a deceased young man in the vehicle downtown, and they had it all quarantined off. And we were down there, and we were kind of helping traffic, and then so obviously the family found out, and they came up there, and obviously, very animated and upset, and just, that's awful news. Having lost a family member myself, my brother passed away a couple years ago. I can relate to an extent, and so I understand, that just rips your heart out, and just the hate they were throwing towards me and there's a few other Titan guys and some of the KCPD guys. It was really unfortunate. I knew it was coming from a grieving position, so I didn't take it personal, but those ones sting a little bit because it's just like there's nothing more that I wanted to do than to console them and help them in that horrible time that they were going through, and just to be called names for absolutely no reason. But again, I forgive them. I completely understand where that was coming from.
Emotional.
Yeah, but those ones are a little rough. And so it's not really a pet peeve. It's an unfortunate event, I think, more than
Gary
anything.
just listed one. I've never heard that before. I've heard a lot of them, but he was called imitation bacon.
That's pretty good,
dude. I've never heard that.
And then the
That's
security
inventive.
ones.
Yeah,
the security ones are pretty good.
I like to. I think my favorite I've ever heard.
Those I actually laugh at.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
I think my favorite I've ever heard is I had someone call me a flashlight cop.
I've never been called that.
Yeah. I was
my stature kind of helps a little bit. Most people aren't as mean. We had one officer that was on patrol. This is a funny story. He would call me all the time when he was getting made fun of. They called him Roly Poly one night.
Oh no!
So he called me to come help him. It was over at I'll say it off air. Pickwick.
Oh yeah.
So there was an apartment complex downtown, and there was some unhappy B&B, Airbnb people that were really intoxicated, and they were making fun of one of the officers. And so he called me to come over there. And
thinking about it, that's funny.
Again, I kind of being cocky today. Toot my own horn. I came over there, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll listen to you," because they were being mean to him, and he was just a little guy. And so I was like, "Hey, stop being mean to my partner here. You guys got to leave. You guys broke a bunch of shit, in the hotel or the apartment
Like you said,
Airbnb'd.
Like you said it, then tried to edit yourself.
Yeah,
whatever.
Well, shit's okay. And then it's like, hey, you broke all this stuff. You need to leave. And actually, Connor got in a fight in the lobby of that place one time.
Yeah, he did.
And I responded to that afterwards. Connor, you did well. I think. I don't know. I wasn't there for it. The guy left.
He
I think.
did.
So no, we had him detained in the chair. Yeah. Were you there for that?
No.
Oh.
I got to hear about it though.
Okay. If Connor remembers, I thought it was and some people come up with some good stuff. McFarlane rolling up with his gold-plated rims.
Let's see.
What are you talking? What?
Oglesby says pet peeve.
You've seen the car I drive, Brian.
I was gonna leave.
It's an old farm Ford that was my late brother's car.
Let's see
that is
here.
rusted on the bottom because it's from the farm.
Let's see here.
Snow and ice and salt.
Oglesby says a pet peeve is other security officers that wear long sleeve uniforms when it's 90 degrees plus out. I can get that at some point, but you got to remember.
Sometimes they're covering tattoos.
I was going to say some of these guys are probably covering tattoos or something. They think, personally, I think it's not. They don't want to show them or whatever the reason may be there. When I first started, and I think when you were here,
it was no beard, no tattoos.
No beard, no tattoos. So if you had tattoos down your arm, whether it was 90 degrees or 100 degrees, you had to wear some kind of covering over your arm. And I knew guys that would be out on the avenue and 95, 97 degrees, and you could see them just flush bullets. White. And, like, dude, you need to go sit down and get something to drink. I'm okay. No, you look like you're about
for
to
your
drop.
Tattoos, dude. Well, they have those like neoprene sleeves now that aren't
way
like
better.
heated. Yeah, they're like moisture wicking. But now, as long as it's not offensive, you can have tattoos.
Yep.
Or they're allowed to be shown. Because I remember during my orientation, one of the lieutenants came in and he was kind of being a hard ass, which is what it is. It doesn't work here anymore, but I think he's an airport cop now. But he came in and was just, like I said, he had neck tattoos, and so he had this thermal on, which I got hired in December, so it was normal.
Real quick, I'm going to clear this up because I know exactly who you're talking about. I was actually a roommate with him for a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah. Everybody thought he wore a turtleneck every day. It wasn't a turtleneck. It was legitimately, the neck part of it, and it went down to about here.
So it was like the fake turtleneck that Cousin Eddie wears in Christmas Vacation. Yeah, that's fantastic.
The first time I met him, I thought he was wearing a turtleneck because he has tattoos down his arms.
That was when he had the quarter zips.
Yeah. And so he had coverings down his arms and everything. You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing right now.
Is it Christy?
No.
Oh. It might be important.
But so he had, I'll call him back. But so he had those on, and the first time I met him, I thought he was wearing a turtleneck. And then I was talking to him about it. I was like, I don't know how you wear a turtleneck, dude.
Well, he did.
Really
he came in and he goes like, "You guys got tattoos or beards? Shave them, cover them up." And I was like, "Okay," because I actually had some stubble at the time.
Because his was always, if I've got to cover mine up, everybody's gonna have to cover theirs. Because he had that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He peeled it down, and there was like a neck tat. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, dude. Well, I don't have any tattoos. I don't have needles."
I remember the first time I found out though, I was talking to him. I was like, "Dude, I can't believe you wear that turtleneck all day long." And he goes, "It's not a turtleneck."
It's fake.
I go, "What are you talking about?"
It's a faux turtleneck.
And he pulled it off, and I was like, "Dude, that's cheating." He goes, "But it works."
Yeah. Hey,
you're
I
not
would have
wrong.
done the same thing. Sweating my ass off. No. So I don't like tattoos, let alone on your neck. Ouch. Not to say you shouldn't have neck tattoos. They're not my cup of tea.
Never
Coop has a
hurt.
huge neck tattoo.
I do not.
It's actually a spine tattoo.
I have a huge back tattoo.
Yeah, it's a big water bottle saying hydrate starts the day before, not the day after.
No,
The day before, not the day of.
I'd make a joke.
Did you bring it in?
No, I was told not to.
Dude, what?
Yeah,
Why?
he told me to wait.
Brian?
I was
I
gonna.
have a bone to pick with you, and I'm going to write you up for your beard.
I was gonna have it. I was gonna be drinking out of it today and everything, and he told me not to. Let's see.
There before, but I couldn't get it. So I'm like, what? That's terrible, Cameron. If you ever need to unpack that stuff, we do have an assistance. Check one of our earlier podcasts. Just go through our podcast, look for what's it called again? Employee Assistance Program.
Yeah, Employee Assistance Program.
So
It's
I've been in some of those nasty situations where you don't want to keep that stuff inside.
Yeah,
and you wanna
absolutely, dude. If you
talk
need someone to
somebody.
talk to, please reach out.
We have to come up with a marketing plan. No, we don't, Brian. I do everything from the hip, literally. I have no script. I've never once came. Well, sometimes we know what we're talking about ahead of time, but Coop will vouch for me here. I walk in and go, "What are we talking about today?"
No, and here's the worst part is sometimes I'll have a plan. I'll be like, "This is
I'm like,
what we're
no,
doing,"
No, it's not.
and we'll start, and the next thing I know, we were on a completely.
I
different.
really am turning into Leon. I really am.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like literally,
Why are
don't
you,
care.
like-
Don't care about the rules.
Well, you act like this is like you're just now figuring this out.
I'm starting to realize it now. Coop has back tattoo of a giraffe with wings made of marble.
Funny enough,
Whoa.
my back tattoo I think does have wings.
You do have a back tattoo?
Mhm.
Is it above your butt cheeks?
It's the center of my back.
Above his butt cheeks.
It's the center of my back. That's
That would hurt, dude.
It's
On the spine?
Yeah, it's 3/4 of my back.
Ugh.
I tried sleeping during it.
What? Because you're a psychopath. Of course it piercing. Of course.
Let's see.
No, thank you, Devin.
no,
That sounds
bad
like
Devin.
some really weird shit, dude.
No, thank you. Bad
no,
Devin.
No, bad Devin. Is he
Bad
the one that
Devin.
drinks blood?
I don't know.
Aren't you like a vampire?
You can't say.
I think I can. Hopefully it doesn't
Well-
cancel me.
Well, that's we're gonna get canceled.
Love this Cameron. You got it, Cameron. Absolutely, buddy. Tribals. I don't know if I can say that on the air, Brian.
Brian, right here. He's got one. I've already confirmed it.
What is this guy doing?
Maybe
That's-
for KCPD officers, but not for us.
That guy
We are
doesn't
relegated-
work for us anymore.
We are
Is
relegated.
that who I think it is?
Yeah, we are.
What's up, buddy?
We are relegated to the original sites of the firearm unless they are night sites.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to alter anything on your firearm. Just I hate to be vanilla and stupid, or not stupid. I hate to be vanilla and standoffish about it, but we just have a standard we have to uphold, and so we don't want to differ. What we
there's-
do works, and yeah, red dots.
Not
sometimes
allowed.
they don't work. They can get so.
Any number of things, and it's not a. It's,
Like my stepdad always said, you can put whatever furniture, which is what it's called, the cool guys call it, on top of your gun, any kind of glass or whatever they slang, put any kind of scope or whatever kind of optics you want on the gun. But in the event you're in a firefight and that shit doesn't work, the things that do are the front and rear sights, which are iron sights. So always revert. If I could talk, yes, resort, yes, revert, resort. Always plan to use those, and so that's what we use. They work just fine. These are sidearms or handguns. They're not made for engaging targets really far away, so you don't need all the cool John Wick stuff. Not to say, but yeah, no.
Devin says it's been mentioned several
Drop-leg
times.
holsters are not allowed either.
It's been mentioned several times that apparently rumored is a vampire. He goes, I swear it's not true. You just need to invite me into your house.
Okay, with some garlic around my neck. I can't see it though. But that's a very good point, Justin. Yeah, a red dot sight does not make you a better shot.
No.
I mean, realistically,
It really doesn't. I've
There
used
you
both
go.
red dot and iron sight. and they're no
Brian knows what
different to me.
dragon's breath is. Good for you, buddy. I actually have that for my shotgun, and it is as cool as you think. It shoots a ball of fire like 75 feet.
It's not
They're
really
pretty cool. Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Well,
it's
then you don't
fun.
have good dragon's breath then.
Yeah,
I buy mine from the gun show, and it's the same
It's
guy
good.
makes it
Don't
homemade.
get me wrong, it's fun, but I mean,
A 75-foot flame. It's pretty cool.
I really just have
But
a
I've shot
flamethrower.
mine out at the farm where it's like pitch black at night.
Okay,
And
that
so it
would
like
be cool.
lights up the entire skyline. Yeah.
That would be
Which is
cool.
all just like coyotes and corn. and beans.
Devin, I think it is, but that's
Yeah,
just me.
shooting at a range would be cool. If it's well lit, it looks like a sparkle bomb went off. But
Yeah.
when it's at night, it's just
Say,
like
that would be
it's like a
different.
flare at the end of your shotgun. That's
That'd be
actually
cool.
really cool. Yeah. Shoot it like a 45-degree angle, which I wouldn't
That would be
recommend
cool.
because then the shotgun pellets have to come down somewhere. I may or may not have done that. I don't know.
Brian says Lulu wears low hip riding leggings.
No holster. Oh yeah, no. Regular holster has to be attached to your belt, guys. So and trust me, don't try to get cute with it because you will get disqualified, and that makes us angry.
If you ever have any questions on uniform stuff, guys, please do not hesitate to ask a question. Please just, if you ever have questions on it, just ask us. That's the easiest way to do that.
Yes, Cameron, that sounds like that'd be a good time. I went to for my bachelor party, my brother rented out, it's a shameless plug, it's called the Outback. I don't even know if they're still open. It's where you can fire fully automatic weapons.
Yeah.
So I shot the G18, the Glock fully auto, had like an arm brace on it. 30-round mag, it's just gone. Yeah. And then I shot a 50, I shot a Lapua. I shot the 40 mic, the 40 millimeter. Yeah. It wasn't a grenade, it was just a little smoke. So like there was like a...
Was it the 40 or the 38?
40.
Okay.
40 millimeter.
Because there's the civilian 38.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the round is about the circumference of this ball. Yeah. And it's about that long. And it was a little red smoke bomb that went out, and I shot it like a mannequin out in the field. And then I shot Tannerai. I shot a 20 millimeter, which is what they put on the A12 or A10s. Yeah, the A12 or A10 Warthogs. Those ones. The round was literally this big, and I have a picture of it. It's on the rear of because the gun's as long as this room. It's massive.
Oh, it's huge.
And when I shot it, it had a red dot. I shot it, and the hole in the target was the size of a quarter. So the exit wound on that would probably be that big.
The largest I've ever shot is a 50.
Yeah, the 50's cool too.
It's a 50. Well, I shot a 50 incendiary round, and that was pretty cool.
45, not drop leg holster. I'm talking about drop hip. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Probably no. It has to be attached to your belt. We don't really mess with.
Brian goes, I looked at an airsoft gun once.
Yeah. So
Brian, I'll bring mine in. Are you in the office next week? I'll bring mine in to show you.
Oh boy. Yeah. Then he's gonna threaten to shoot everybody.
No, just you.
Mm-hmm.
Just you.
Well, mine has.
I would never. Yeah. I would never. I would never prove it.
Yeah, no, that place is pretty cool. For like $200 or $300, you can rent the whole place out. And then you obviously have to pay per weapon. I shot the 249. I think it's a 249 Bravo.
Yep. Oh, those guns are so fun.
It's the paratrooper version, so it's a little short one, but it's fully auto. Shot an M16 full auto. It makes your day better.
Way better.
And I'm not even one of those crazy gun nuts. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. Like I like to be able to defend myself, and I have a few rifles at home. But it just puts a smile on your face when you shoot something fully automatic.
Thanks, Brian.
It's pretty cool.
I'm glad to hear that. Appreciate it.
Was Brian leaving?
No.
Oh, yes, it is.
He took a jar of my chili sauce home.
Devin, no. Sometimes I'll wear a strap to make it look like a drop leg. It's just there's just no point. You know, the functionality of what we require is exactly what you need, and the more attachments and movable parts you put on stuff, the more opportunity you have for mistakes or malfunctions to happen.
So, Devin,
keep it short and simple, stupid simple.
Kind of on that, there was a time when they were approving it. It's not a drop leg holster. It's a leg strap for assist. It's meant for people with hip injuries and stuff like that. It's supposed to help with that. But Casey Mo's, they're so finicky on the rules that sometimes they'll misconstrue that as a drop leg.
Yeah.
And so they've just kind of...
They're not consistent enough.
Yeah, it's easier just to say no to everything on those because one thing might be okay, but it might still get you in trouble, and it's just not worth the headache or the hassle.
Titan shooting range contest, not a bad idea with awards and trophies. I've actually brought it up to go to that Outback because I said it's like $300 to rent it, and you can camp out there. The guy's super cool. The guy that runs it, he's just an old fart.
Where is it?
It's in the middle of Kansas. So I'll have to look it up and show you. It's called the Outback. It's literally, it took us like 2.5, 3 hours to get there from up north where I live.
Okay.
So basically the center of Kansas. The guy's super cool. He's real funny and nice. And Kiss Vector for 4K. Chris Vector cool. For 4K. That seems a little high. But see, then again, I'm not a big gun guy. I don't know what I would like to have a Vector.
Yeah.
I've just got your typical AR. I've got an AK. Got a couple of bolt actions for all that good stuff.
So, but on that note, I think we're going to call it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a phenomenal show. We appreciate it so much. Everything you guys do in the field allows us to continue to do stuff like this. So thank you so much. I almost forgot.
Weather, man. It's supposed to cool down. My foot hurts. So I gotta change it to if I remember 59 tomorrow.
So let's see. Tomorrow we're looking at 55 degrees, cloudy with a 25% chance of rain. Sunday, we're looking at 57 with cloud coverage in the morning.
My kind of weather, guys.
Monday, 64 sunshine. Tuesday is 69 with cloud coverage in the morning.
60s and 50s. Keep it coming.
Wednesday is 73 with cloud coverage, and Thursday is 66 with an 85% chance of rain in the afternoon.
Showers late in the week next week.
So, on that note, now we're going to call it. So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for everything. We can't thank you guys enough for it. It allows us to continue to do stuff like this. We appreciate it. And remember, hydration is key. Hydration is the day before, not the day of. Thanks,
Cameron.
guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. Take care, guys.